G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Deepin 20.3. It's been a little while since I've had a look at Deepin, so let's check it out. This is the Deepin website, Deepin 20.3 released. In this release the stable kernel was upgraded to version 5.15. They got an enhanced support for Intel 12th generation and NTFS file systems, and system compatibility was further improved, and you can also manually upgrade the kernel version. So easy to manage photo album, better use of screenshots and screen recording, and looks like they've had quite a few updates. So let's fire up a virtual machine and install Deepin. So straight off the bat, we only have an option to install. Now I've already done this on the Toshiba laptop. I've installed it in there. So I hope that VirtualBox can give me a good look at Deepin, as good as it did look on real hardware. So let's go, let's check it out. And so far looking pretty much the same as real hardware at this point. So what we've got is we select English. I've read an end user agreement, I suppose. Next. Friendly note, you're installing Deepin on a virtual machine which may result in suboptimal performance. That's fine. Let's go next. Now I've got the option to encrypt the disk here. But what I did is I went into advanced, so we're going to do that. Got 80 gig space, you need minimum 60, so I thought I'd beef it up a bit. Now what happens here is when we click on this thing here, you'll see this little space here. So if we click anywhere here, it just does nothing. If we click on this little space here, we get this option here. So I've booted in EFI mode. I'm pretty sure I have anyway. I better double check that. Yes, I have. So what we're going to do is primary partition be the start. This is going to be EFI. I'm going to make it 512 megabytes and create that. And it says here to be formatted. And click on that little part there again, that little tiny icon. It's going to be another primary partition location from the start of where we finished off. This is going to be swap. Make it 4096 is good enough for a virtual machine. Let's create that. Click on that, and then we click on here. I think they could make that a little bit bigger, make it a little bit more obvious. So let's do that. Primary partition again, ext4. The mount point's going to be root. I'm not going to make a home partition here. Just going to use the rest of it as root and create that. And it says install here. This one says to be formatted, to be formatted. Did it? Oh, yeah, format. Yeah, okay, that's right. Confirm that. And that's it. Now, on real hardware, the Toshiba laptop that I installed it on has an NVIDIA Optimus NVIDIA card, and it had down a little box here, just like the encrypted disk did, to check that off for NVIDIA install. So I did that, and it seems to be running pretty well. There's no screen tearing, although there's no NVIDIA application shows up anywhere in the menu, but it looks like it's installed it as a Flatpak, I think. I don't know. We'll check that out anyway, because we're going to be going on to the Toshiba after this install. So let's go next. It'll tell you what it's going to do. It's going to create a GPT new partition table, create new partition, EFI, a Linux swap, and a root mount point. So let's continue that, and off we go. I didn't see this on real hardware. It's got a little show log here. Let's click on that. So there we go. Yep, okay, so it shows you the log. Cool. So that is the installation complete. Took no time at all, really. Just a few minutes, I think, to install that. So what we're going to do is reboot now. If you do this in real hardware, take that USB out real quick because it's restarted pretty quickly on me, I must say. I don't know if that's my hardware or not, but it was pretty quick. So let's reboot now. And there we are in the Deepin grub boot screen. So Deepin 20.3. Let's just check out the startup, which probably be the same as, yeah, it's the same splash screen. Same splash screen as when we first booted. Then we get the same options again. So it's a little bit like an OEM install. So we go next. Keyboard layouts English US for me. Perth Australia. Oh, it's got a list and a map. Australia Perth anyway, that's correct for me, but that's a good option there. You can change time if you want. Click next. Username. Now the username is all lowercase. Colin PC. That'll do for this video. And put in the password. Medium password and click next. Tuning the system. And there's our login screen there. So let's log into the system. And everything looks on par with the real hardware as I've seen it. So that's all pretty good. So it's a good representation of Deepin install on VirtualBox. Now this is where things change a bit. I will go for the effect mode. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll try that anyway. And it seems to be working fine with effect mode anyway. So that's all good. Has this little video here. So that's quite a good little video there to showing off some of the best parts of the Deepin system. So I'm going to go for fashion mode, next, effect mode, and I'm going to leave that as default and click done. So that is the Deepin 20.3 installed. I'm pretty impressed with Deepin so far. The only thing I forgot to mention was on when you get to the install and you got the disk there, I chose advanced. If you've got a disk available that you can wipe the whole disk clean with a Deepin install, then you just have to click that disk and install and be done. I just thought I'd try out the advanced mode because I like to try the advanced mode just to check out how the installer actually copes with all those different selections within the advanced mode. Otherwise, you can just click the one disk and just continue. It's as simple as that, really. But I always think the advanced mode's worth trying out. So anyway, that is the install complete. I'm going to switch over to real hardware and we're going to check that out. So we'll shut the virtual machine down and we'll switch over to real hardware, the Toshiba laptop, and we'll see what's going on with Deepin on real hardware. See you there. So here we are in the desktop of Deepin 20.3 on the Toshiba laptop. Just been trying to set things up here. I was looking in the software center and I've noticed that while we're looking in the software center, I've noticed that the English of everything within Deepin has improved significantly. Seem to have the English conversion worked out pretty well because there was a lot of Chinese stuff in here before. Let's just have a look at all. There still is some Chinese things in here, but we can see it's much more improved. So that's a real bonus there. Music and audio. Didn't find simple screen recorder in here. Had to install it in the terminal, which was a bit odd. We'll probably find it now because it's already installed. Let's check that out. No results. Oh, there it is. Now it's showing up and it's asking me to install. It's already installed. So that's, I wonder why that is. I wonder if they're using a different repo. 3 installed apps. So that was installed from the terminal using sudo apt install. So we've got updates here. You're on top of the world, all apps are the latest version, no need to update. Essential apps, so very much improved. Hot apps, I need to install Zoom, which I'll do, probably Flatpak. Check for update settings. Computer, system disk. Etsy apt sources.list. Sources.list is here. So they're using Debian, I know. So they're using community packages. So it's all Deepin repositories by the looks of it. Control center. So this is your control center here. And as you've seen via the introduction video after I first installed earlier, you got animations on all of these things down here. So you've got the control center here. Let's full screen that. So I was having trouble getting sound working. So that's my output. You can volume boost here. Got set speakers up, input, as you can see now. I couldn't get this working earlier. For some reason it's working good now. We've got sound effects, which I've turned off, but if you turn it on, you can hear, if we go volume up and down, you can hear the sound effects there. I just turned sound effects off. So devices here, if I turn any one of these has got to be off. They're both Yeti. That's the internal microphone. That needs to be on. Only one of these needs to be selected. otherwise simple screen recorder won't work. And output devices, I don't want any of these, are all on by default, so I've turned them off. And you've got output volume, input volume here, sound effects and devices. So that's that. You've got accounts. You can choose auto login, login without a password. It's interesting. Deepin ID, display. You got scaling here up to 1.25. Not sure how that works. Never had to use scaling. Resolution, refresh rate and rotation. Got your night shift as well. Change the color temperature of night shift. Default applications. Web is the browser. Mail is mail. Text is text editor by default. Music is music. Video is their movie player. Picture is image viewer. And terminal is their terminal as default. Personalize, you can use dark, auto. I think auto turns on a certain time. Rounded corners can be large, medium or small, which you cannot hardly see. Window effect you can turn off. You can increase your transparency. I'm not sure what that's on the bottom panel or the floating panel. It's cool. Oh, you've got magic lamp as well. And scale. Network options here. Notifications. Sound we've seen. Bluetooth. Date and time, which is very much correct there, which is good. In time settings and format. Power settings. Auto power saving on low battery. You can decrease the brightness. Doesn't appear to be doing anything there. Mouse settings in general. Pointer speed, touchpad, tap to click, natural scrolling. Keyboard options, updates. Update settings, maybe we can look at something there. A few settings there. System updates, check for updates, updates notification. System info, let's have a look at that. That's my system there. So license and user license agreement, privacy policy, and general settings. That's the boot menu, startup delay and theme. And that's exactly what it looks like when you start up. We have a calendar. You can choose light and dark theme from here. And you can do that with all the Deepin specific apps. You can also click on the plus button, add an event. You can choose what it is, life, other. I don't know if you can add different types or your own types, I don't know. Sunday the 5th today. You've got notifications here, and you can control center, connecting wireless internet there. Control center, new system edition available. Screenshot finished. So I took a screenshot of my sound settings to remember what they were, so we can actually view the screenshot from here. There we go. That's pretty handy. And then we can, it's got the name of the file up there, so we can full screen that. It also allows you to extract text, rotate, delete, fit to window. Okay, that's pretty cool. Got your trash bin there. So I was just trying out some different videos, testing sound. That's what they all are. So you got your power there, shut down. And from the shutdown, you can also do that from here. and then you can use your system monitor from there, and that's your system monitor. Services and processors, using 2 gig of 7.7 gig, using no swap at the moment, so 25% of the memory. It's quite a fair bit of memory to be using. My processors, all processors, applications, okay. Yes, we're probably using a lot because I'm recording. That's probably the reason why. Got onboard keyboard there. Search, so you've got a little search thing there. Let's have a look. Browser. Oh yeah. So that's a little bit like a U launcher. Simple scan, simple screen recorder. That's quite nice actually, I must say. Probably hit escape to exit that. And my escape doesn't work real well. So you can choose to hide system tray stuff here, which is pretty handy as well if you want to reduce the clutter. You got your power there, Bluetooth, wireless, sound. Not sure what that one is. No input window. Okay. Maybe that's when you got something connected. And what's this one here? Simple screen recorder. Okay. Pause, right click, and you can get those options there. I hope that's still recording. Yes, it is. Then you've got certain apps in the middle here. And then if we open a few things here, you've got your multitasking view. You can move into new workspaces. You can add new workspaces like so. You can move them around. You can delete your workspace like so. And then you got show desktop. The menu, you can full screen if you wish. You can choose different categories like so. So you can run through your categories by scrolling your mouse wheel. So this one here will scroll in the individual category, but if you continue to scroll, it will scroll across. So you've got to scroll just like one click to scroll the individual category. Internet, music, video, graphics, games, office, system, other, back to internet. Or you can have iconified view. We can drop that back down to a normal menu if we wish. You've got control center shortcut here, shutdown shortcut, downloads, videos, music, pictures, documents, and computer. So one thing I wanted to look at is out of all of this, I think LibreOffice, I didn't want to check that one, did I? All categories, Office, LibreOffice Calc, looks very out of place in Deepin, Help and About LibreOffice 6.1.5.2, which is expected because it's on Debian. So let's have a look at terminal. Let's throw terminal down here, because we'll probably be using that a bit. So I'm going to do an app search LibreOffice. So I'm looking for the main LibreOffice that's installed on this system. There's a lot of LibreOffice components available anyway. So there's a LibreOffice drawer, but that's just one of them. I want the one that's got the whole office in it. So these have got to be the ones here, would be LibreOffice Common or LibreOffice Core. I'd have to think it's Core. Core or Common. So what we're going to do is clear the screen. So LibreOffice Core or Common. So I'm going to do a sudo apt remove LibreOffice-core. Let's do that. And does that also remove Common as well? Don't know if that removes Common, but it definitely removes most things that we need to remove anyway. And maybe we'll try Common as well. So I'm going to remove all that as well. So I'm going to do an auto remove just to clean up everything. Hopefully that's all good. So I've been working on some scripts to install Flatpaks in my PC TLC ISO, but also went a little bit further with scripts. That's why I've been a little bit quiet lately. I've been working on stuff like that. So what we're going to do is click this search button here. So that's my modem address with my external hard drive connected online. And then we get this box here. So just put in my password and we'll connect. And there it is there. Got my little Coles drop box here. And I have a Flatpak and Plex. So copy that to documents, I suppose we'll do. Paste that. So there's two reasons why I'm doing this. The first reason is I just want to see how Deepin manages with doing my script and copying and pasting as well, see how that goes. And I don't know whether we need to do properties and type as executable. So permissions allow to execute as programs. So normally when I copy and paste things, it takes away that permission, but the permission has been left, so that's bonus. So we'll open in terminal. Tab that. Now what I have here is, if I can adjust this screen size. Okay, so we can, number one, install Flatpak support for Debian Deepin Ubuntu 20.04 plus. So I'm going to choose number one to start with. So we're going to install the Flatpak support. And yes, let's do that. Enter that for yes. Now I've also installed the that installs also the GNOME backend software as well. So it probably installs the GNOME Software Center, which allows you to pick up other Flatpaks. So that's just going to add another software center to the system. I don't see that as a huge big deal, to be honest. And password. Please restart your system to complete setup. So I'm going to have to do that. So first of all, let's close that. I'm going to restart the system and I'll be back. So here we are back in the Deepin desktop after a reboot. I just need to make sure that this sound is working because I don't trust it. Input, it's working, so that should be all good. So let's go back to our documents and right click and open in terminal. Just type the first two letters and tab that and it'll auto-complete. And what I like about this terminal is it's remembered the size that I made it last time. So what happens here is fix Deepin folder permissions for Flatpak. Now, there was a problem. If we have a look at, if we open this with, open with text editor. If we have a look in here, fix folder permissions Deepin Flatpak. So that apparently there's a problem with the permissions with the temp and the var temp, which means if you install Flatpaks, you need to use sudo to install it. Then you need to use sudo to actually run it, which means if you select the Flatpak from the menu here, it doesn't run because it needs sudo permissions. But Flatpaks don't need to be installed with sudo. If we check that out, all my Flatpak installs, if you check it out here, Flatpak install, there's no sudo command. It doesn't need sudo command. So that was a problem I came across while I was doing this. So I'm going to go number 2 and fix those permissions. It's a system file, so it does ask for your password. It's all good. And then there's Deepin Flatpak themes. So I'm going to choose number 3 and install those. And let's go yes. Now, as you can see, I don't know why this is, but now this is the first Flatpak I'm installing, and it's actually installing the NVIDIA, which I chose to install on install. And while that's running, if we check that out, if we go to my pictures, now these are going to be pretty crappy pictures. Just to give you an idea, if I can find it. I need to find it. I didn't realize these came out so bad, which is unfortunate. So we go back probably a couple more. Increase that. You can see here what I was talking about is if, in my first part of the video, I could have just clicked this and gone full disk install and go next, and you're pretty much done from there, I think. You can choose to encrypt the disk and choose to install NVIDIA because it's detected that it's got NVIDIA on there. So install NVIDIA closed source drivers. So if we go next, it's also on this screen while I was doing my partitioning. It's available on the screen. I think that's where I chose to select that before I went next. And I was editing the disk, whatever I was doing there. And you can see that NVIDIA choices there constantly. Let's just go fast forward. And there it is there. I chose to install NVIDIA closed source driver. And then the rest is history, as they say. So yeah, they're pretty awful pictures. I expected them to come out a little bit better than that. But NVIDIA's installed, but in the menu there's no NVIDIA at all. Now I don't know if this is going to install NVIDIA settings manager. I don't know. So proceed with the changes, yes. Please log out for themes to be enabled. So that's what I've got in my script to let you know that. I'm not going to log out yet. What I'm going to do is install LibreOffice. So I'm going to go D for LibreOffice. And that will install the latest LibreOffice in the stable branch of Flatpaks. So let's do that. And it says, please log out for LibreOffice to appear in the menu, which is true. You need to log out for that. So this is my script anyway, and this will work on Debian. Well, Deepin is classified as Debian anyway, because it's based on Debian, Ubuntu 20.04 plus. So we've got Blender, Cherry Tree, Kdenlive, LibreOffice, OBS Studio, Telegram, and Zoom, which is what I use normally as Flatpaks because it keeps them more stable. Now, whether I'm on Debian, which is a bit older, or whether I'm on Arch, which is more up to date, they remain stable. That's my plan. So I wrote this script for Arch, and then I moved on and made another one for Debian and Ubuntu. So we've got Flatpak installs, Flatpak uninstalls, Plex Media Server install, Plex Media Player Flatpak install, Plex Media Server maintenance, so you can disable it, you can stop it, you can uninstall it, and Plex Media Player maintenance, you can uninstall that. So that's what I've been working on just for my own convenience. So what I might do here is install Zoom. Let's Zoom Flatpak install is G. Let's do that. Yes. Now at this point I could probably open the software center, which I still need to reboot and log out anyway for that. And I could install Flatpaks from there now probably. Once you do one, please log out for Zoom to appear in the menu. So once you do one Flatpak, you've once you install, install Flatpak support for Debian. So it'll install gnome-software-plugin-flatpak, I think, which it also installs gnome software. So let's I'm going to pause this video once again, and I'll log out and come back in, because if we have a look for Zoom, well, actually it's already showing in the menu. That's interesting. My Z button's not working too well. Zoom, LibreOffice is already showing. That's interesting, so I don't have to log out. Let's continue if that's the case. All categories, Office. LibreOffice, that's the new one, I hope. So let's go to Calc. And as you can see, this LibreOffice looks so much more suitable for Deepin because it has nice aesthetics. Help and About LibreOffice, and that is the 7.2.3.2. The one that Deepin is 6.1.5, I think. So this one looks so much nicer. And if we was to smart hide this, there we go. Looks so much more fitting for Deepin. So we've got our options there to fashion mode, efficient mode, top, bottom, left and right, the status, which I've just changed to smart hide, and all the plugins, which is trash power, show desktop, onboard, all these ones along here. So you can choose to not show them if you wish. Let's just try this browser from Deepin. Now I went to settings. Let's have a look. So if we have a look at the search options here, you've got these two. Must be Chinese, I think. I never heard of 360. Bing, Google, and Yahoo. Now if we try and add, let's see, settings, search engine, manage search engines, we can add. I'm not sure what to put in. Let's edit that one. Keyword is, I don't know why they got this one in the middle here. That's a bit silly. Let's add that again. DuckDuckGo.com. Let's do that. Now you can add this to, you can set as default. Last time it allowed me to set that as default. I don't know why. Is it because it's not HTTPS on there? I don't know if it's meant to have it HTTPS. Save that. Let's close that and let's open it back up. Manage search engines. So this is your, so if we do a search for, say, Deepin, it's using Chinese search by default in the browser there. So we need to go back to settings and set the default search here, search engine used in address bar. You can use any of those. I don't know why it's not bringing up DuckDuckGo. About browser is browser version 5.4.10. I would have to say that's the Deepin's own browser. Alright, so it seems to be a bit of an issue with setting DuckDuckGo as a search. I did do that earlier on my first install, because this is a second install. On my first install, I managed to get DuckDuckGo as the default address bar search, but not having much luck doing that at the moment. Maybe I haven't put in the correct configurations, I'm not sure. So we have Zoom. There's Zoom working, so all those flatpaks appear to be working. And if we have a look at software, I think you'll find that software is now installed. Let's go shopping. And there we have the GNOME software. And you can search for your flatpaks in here. So one flatpak I haven't installed is Blender, and that's FlatHub. So everything in here should be flatpaks. What else was I going to install as a flatpak? There's Cherry Tree, FlatHub, Kdenlive. So all you need to do is install Flatpak Support. That's pretty much, there's FlatHub. So all you need to do is pretty much install Flatpak Support and you've got it all there for you anyway. So that was a look around the Deepin desktop environment 20.3. Just one or two things that were noticeable, I suppose, was the App Center or Software Center seems to have had English translations updated quite a fair bit. So I was impressed with the English translations within the App Center, because normally that's full of a lot of Chinese language that's hard to read. So they've really made a big difference there. The one thing that didn't impress me much was the LibreOffice suite that did come with Deepin, the 6.1.5.2, I think it was. Obviously that had a problem fitting into this environment theme-wise. It's obviously something not jiving with the Deepin desktop environment itself. I think somebody said it's Qt, so maybe I think LibreOffice, I'm not sure if it's Qt or what. So obviously there's a clash there, and that wasn't so LibreOffice wasn't coming up with its normal nice looking themes that normally come along with it. So it was having a little bit of difficulty there fitting in. So but normally most of the time when I'm looking at LibreOffice, doesn't matter what version, it looks better than what that did. So there must be an issue there. Overall, I thought if we just have a quick look just in closing, their control center is very simple, easy to navigate, sort of easily leads you in the direction you want to go when it comes to what you want to do with your computer. So that was all good. Once again, the App Center, if we have a quick look at that again, the App Center, and there's the App Center there, and English translations are shining through really nicely, so that's good to see. They've done a really nice job there. So every release with Deepin seems to get better and better, and probably more friendly towards the Western side of things, so to speak. So they're actually improving it more and more. I like their calendar, it's quite easy to use. And they've got the events and everything there, really nice. Rounded corners, which you can adjust in size, which is good. So I think the Deepin desktop environment is coming along really nicely. If to criticize anything, I've found that their USB moving and transferring files, it's a little bit on the slow side. Took a while just to copy over a couple of small videos, a bit longer than what it normally would take. So I don't know what the issue might be there. But overall, Deepin is really making some improvements with every release. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it interesting and informative. And thanks for watching.